If you didn't know it already, we love horror movies here at the channel. And in this top 10, we're going to count down our list of the most terrifying horror movies that will keep you up at night. Starting off in the number 10 spot, we have Sinister. When I say sinister, what comes to mind? Well, for me, it's anything with clowns. In fact, I'm terrified of clowns. Now, if you feel the same way, I don't blame you. Clowns are creepy. They're supposed to be funny, but all they do is freak me out. And when it comes to the film Sinister, I was pretty sure that I would not want to watch it because it has a clown in it. But a friend suggested it to me. He said, "You can get past the clown thing." So I did. And let me tell you, it was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. The film follows an author who moves his family into a home where a family was murdered years prior, and he soon begins finding home movies depicting other brutal murders that appear to be connected to the house. That's the basic premise of it. And there's something about it that just creeps me out. And yes, the clown may have something to do with it. It's not just that. Something about the home, something about the story, just makes me uncomfortable. Next up in the number 9 spot, we have the film Audition. I had never heard of this film until recently, and I'm glad I've experienced it, but I probably wouldn't suggest you experience it. Audition tells the story of a widower who decides to hold an audition for a fake movie project in order to find a new wife. He meets a mysterious woman who he falls for, but soon she begins exhibiting some extremely weird behavior. The film builds and builds until the third act, which is just downright terrifying. It's honestly one of those movies that will leave you questioning humanity and also thanking God that you were born male. But seriously, if you want to watch this movie, I suggest you watch it alone in your room at night, and then you can thank me later. In the number 8 spot, we have the film Drag Me to Hell. This is actually a movie by Sam Raimi, the director of the Evil Dead series. And it's easily one of his most underrated films. Drag Me to Hell is the story of a loan officer who, after denying an old gypsy woman a loan, gets cursed and must now avoid hell itself while dealing with increasingly vicious demons. I think Drag Me to Hell gets overshadowed by the rest of Raimi's work, but it's definitely worth a watch, and I'd even suggest watching it before you go to sleep. Just kidding. Don't do that. In the number 7 spot, we have the film You're Next. This is a home invasion film that takes a different approach to the genre by having the victims fight back against the criminals. A family gathers together for a reunion at a remote house, but their get-together is interrupted by a group of masked intruders who begin picking them off one by one. It seems like they've got everything under control, but then a mysterious figure starts picking the invaders off. While I will admit that the plot of this film is nothing new or original, it's still very effective and well made. Plus, it gives a fun new twist to the home invasion subgenre. Next up in the number 6 spot, we have the film Train to Busan 2. If you're a fan of zombie movies, this is definitely one you should check out. Train to Busan is a South Korean film that takes place during a zombie outbreak. A workaholic businessman and his young daughter get stuck on a train with several other passengers, including a pregnant woman, an elderly couple, and a group of teenagers. As the outbreak continues to worsen, the passengers must fight to survive against hordes of flesh-hungry zombies. What makes this film stand out from others is the characters and the relationships between them. You really care about these people, and you really root for them. There's also some pretty intense action scenes and some truly terrifying moments. Definitely one of the better zombie films in recent years. In the number 5 spot, we have the film The Conjuring. This is another Sam Raimi film, but it's not in the same vein as Drag Me to Hell. This is more of a traditional haunted house story. The film is based on the true story of the Perron family, who in the early 1970s moved into a farmhouse only to discover that it was built over an old burial ground. Soon, they begin experiencing strange and terrifying phenomena in their new home. If you've seen any of the Conjuring movies, you know how great they are. The film does such a good job of building suspense and creating a genuinely scary atmosphere. Plus, it's got a great cast and some truly terrifying moments. If you're looking for a movie that will make you sleep with the lights on, this is definitely it. Coming up to the number 4 spot, we have the film His House. I've been seeing this film pop up everywhere lately. It's a modern horror film that follows a refugee couple from South Sudan who move to England and are haunted by a sinister presence in their new home. What I found so interesting about this film is that it blends social commentary with supernatural horror, which creates a truly unique and thought-provoking experience. It's definitely one of the most original horror films I've seen in recent years, and it also stars Wunmi Mosaku, who is fantastic in it. She's in basically every scene of the movie and does such a good job. Coming up to the number 3 spot, we have the film Hereditary. This is one of the most talked about horror films in recent years. It's the story of a dysfunctional family who are haunted by the legacy of their deceased grandmother. As the family begins to unravel, they uncover a dark secret about their ancestry that ties them to a terrifying cult. If you're looking for a movie that will mess with your head, Hereditary is definitely it. The film is slow burning, but it builds and builds until the third act, which is just absolutely insane. I'll say no more than that. But be prepared for some seriously messed up stuff. In the runner-up spot, we have the film Midsommar. This is the latest film from Ari Aster, who also directed Hereditary. And it's a departure from his previous work, in the sense that it's not set at night, and it's actually set in broad daylight. That's basically the only similarity these two films share. Midsommar follows a young woman who travels to Sweden with her boyfriend and his friends for a midsummer festival, but as the festival begins, she soon realizes that the locals are hiding a dark secret. This film is unlike any other horror movie you've ever seen. It's absolutely mesmerizing and absolutely disturbing. The cinematography is beautiful, but the story is just absolutely bonkers. If you're looking for a movie that will stick with you long after the credits have rolled, this is definitely it. Finally, in the number 1 spot today, we have the film Sin. This is the film that will keep you up at night, and it's not just because it's a found footage movie. Yes, it is found footage, but it's much more than that. Sin is the story of a group of friends who go on a camping trip in the woods and find a mysterious cabin. They soon discover that the cabin is cursed, and the woods are inhabited by demonic creatures who pick them off one by one. But again, it's much more than that. Found footage horror movies often rely on cheap jump scares and shaky camera work to scare the audience. But Sin is much more psychological. The film does such a good job of building tension and suspense, you'll be on the edge of your seat the entire time. And when the scares do come, they'll actually have an impact on you. I highly recommend watching this one alone in your room at night, and then after you watch it, you can thank me later. Thanks for watching. That was 10 horror movies that will keep you up at night. If you enjoyed this top 10, be sure to subscribe and like the video. And if you want to check out more of our videos, click the link on screen now.